the one that says puff sleeve with top fullness. All right? They're showing it on the sleeve. It doesn't have to be on the sleeve. But this really, I like this diagram and this handout because I think it most easily explains slash and spread. All right?
Can I just make a diagram clarification?
Yes.
So this little shaded part here that says added space, it's really, the space is actually added where the slash line is, not on the corner here. So
Yes.
I think that's
Yes.
it's a confusing diagram.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. Okay, I gotta point something out to you. Okay, this is, thank you, because you just reminded me of something. I remember before I started school, I made a little micro mini because it was in the early 90s, and of course everything was as short as I could possibly get it. And I decided I wanted to make it slightly flared and super short. So I added to the side seam. And it looked awesome because I was in a hurry because I wanted to wear it that night. That's what I used to do. I thought, I'll just make it in the morning and wear it. So it was a straight skirt with wings on the side. Yeah. It was horrific. Couldn't wear it. All right? Because I added it all to the side seam. It's still a straight skirt because of the grain line of the skirt, the way it's cut. You just have wings. It looked terrible. And then I was telling this to my students. At one point, one of them started laughing. I did bell bottoms like that. Even worse. Because now they're going to be flat with wings out the sides, right? So for a visual of why we slash and spread, if you picture that,
opening a seam and
just adding to the side seams, right? It's terrible. It doesn't work, right? So you need to slash and spread. Wherever you slash is where it is directed. And I just thought of an example I have that will really help you see this. I'll bring it out when I get done here.
So this way the grain lines are moving.
Yes. Yeah. And then when you cut it, the fall of the fabric falls properly. And the whole, everything that changes is going to direct to where you slashed it. And I have an example that I can show you that really shows it really well. I'll bring it in a minute. So on this one, we want to make a sleeve. There's a diagram with gather at the top. So you took a regular sleeve and you slash and spread it a lot because they're adding a lot, right? But notice on this one that it's also getting higher. Why would it possibly get higher, not just wider, to gather it in?
For the angle of the ease is going to, or because you're trying to create the shape, right?
Yep. Because if you don't add that and you keep it flat, it's going to pull and you're going to have these lines. It's going to look terrible because it's still going to be flat here with all this gather. The gather has no room to breathe. It needs to be able to breathe. So does it tell you a measurement? No, good, because some of them do and I don't like that. What you're basically doing is coming off the bottom here and finding the shape. And if you take the original sleeve, so you fused it so it had some body, traced it off, slash this up, then you can use your original sleeve to help you shape the rest of the sleeve. All right? I don't want to go too heavy in it, but I want you to understand how slash and spread works, right? So that's if you want gather at the top, right? If you want gather at the bottom and not the top, then you do the reverse. And you can see the weird thing that it does to the shape of the sleeve, right? But then when you gather it down, and you're gathering it back down to that measurement that you want. Now, I do have to warn you, and this is maybe too much information, sometimes when you put that much gather in, sometimes it can't go, if it's tight fitting, it can't go exactly to the original measurement on something like this, because all that gather adds depth, which eats out of the space. It feels too tight. So you might need to gather it down to a slightly lesser measurement in the case of a sleeve like that. But do you guys kind of get how that works?
Yeah.
This is a lot of gathering, but I think the visual is really good. I think it's really, now if you go to puff sleeve, it's gathered top and bottom, right? So you slash it and you open it evenly distributed top and bottom.
So it's like spread both top and bottom.
Yep,
kind of like a gather.
yep. Does this have to be gathered? Could it be pleated?
Oh. Yeah.
Same manipulation,
As long as it's the
different
same
finishing.
space, right? To meet your notches.
Yeah, you just make sure you do your notches, draw your chevrons in so you know what notch folds to what, because now you've got a lot going on, right? Now, these are not all the pleats necessarily. Maybe you slash in, or maybe they are. What I'd probably do is first decide on how many pleats that I want, right? Fold a piece of paper like I showed you so that you know how deep you want them, right? And then calculate how you want to put that in. Doesn't have to be a sleeve. It can be on a shirt or skirt, anywhere else. Like the slash and spread idea is actually not that hard. You're just cutting and adding in. It can get quite complicated. I really don't want to take you there because it's just not worth it. But the general gist of it is that, right? If we go to the very last handout, and we're almost done our spiel, we might even get it done in a half hour. Is there questions now so far? Because do the sleeve diagrams really help? Mm-hmm. I think I love these ones because I think they really get the idea across. If I'm looking at the last one and it shows skirts, I like this one a lot because it tells you a lot of different variations of how to gather. And so in particular, this one, so they're slashing and spreading and adding more in, but they're getting rid of the dart at the same time, right? So you can add fullness and get rid of darts by playing around. Same with something like this. You're getting into a circle skirt here. The more you add, eventually it becomes a circle skirt, right? This is the one that I really want you to look at, is this bottom one. You can cut panels off of something, whether it be a shirt or a sleeve or a skirt, as long as it has a seam to end. It needs that seam. You don't want to slash and spread the whole thing up to here, otherwise you have the circle skirt again. But if you want, this one isn't gathered, so you can slash and spread it so it's just no gather but a lot of fullness, right? Because as you slash and spread it, it pulls up and the bottom hem circumference gets bigger without gathering, right? Or you could gather it. That's why sometimes when you buy a pattern, a ruffle will be a long straight piece that you gather down, which is the gathered lot of fullness, or your ruffle will be a circle almost, because when you force it to sew into the straight line, it starts to ruffle like that. So there's two different ways that you can look at it. And that's about it on that, as far as where I just want you to understand it, and if you want to go a lot further with it, you can. Do you have questions? Yay! We have now officially ended the power drafting lessons.